the man that I'm introducing to you today was born in Juneau, Alaska. 43 years ago, he too graduated from Juneau Douglas High School. He then went on to Willamette University in Salem, where he graduated with a Bachelor's of Arts in German Literature in 1971, and later graduated from Willamette Law School in 1976. In 1983, he was elected to the Juneau City Assembly. In 1988, he was elected as mayor of Juneau for the first time. In 1994, he was elected as Attorney General of Alaska and retained that position until 2002. In 2003, he was re-elected as Juneau's mayor and holds that position today. He's a man of endless love, care, and compassion for the city that he has served for so many years. But he's more than that. He's a loving husband, a just and caring father, a powerful leader. He is, like many of us, a neighbor, a friend, a hiker, a biker, a dancer, a politician, a lawyer, an Eagle Scout, a JDHS graduate. He is a Juneauite, and he's a pretty good public speaker. But 43 years ago, he was in the same place all of you are sitting there wondering, where am I going to be in 43 years? He may not be able to tell you, but I'm positive that he can give us some insight in what is to expect. So if you will please help me in welcoming my dad and our mayor, Bruce Patello.
Doesn't get any better than this. Thanks, Alex. This year, we celebrate not only the 50th anniversary of statehood, but it's also the closing of an era that was begun by the class of 1959, and that ends with you. Now, the school districts of Douglas and Juneau had already combined by this time 50 years ago. But the class of 59 was the first all-district graduating class that had actually spent its senior year in this building. Now, 50 years later, you're the last class to do so. So, what I'd like to do a little bit right now is kind of ask you to join with me in rolling back the curtain of time so that we might go back to the spring of 1959, to this place right here. This was a brand new school. The class of 59 had 63 members. And it was a very, very close-knit class. And many of them were known by their nicknames. Cuddles, and Dink, Bet, Herbie, and my personal favorite, Shortcake, to name a few. And they lived in the capital city of the newest and biggest state in the Union. And they were very proud of it. Their class slogan was, "We live in the 49th." Juneau was a bustling, modern city with an area-wide population that hadn't even quite reached 10,000. But the news of the time celebrated Juneau's modernity and its progress. And if you were to look back then, in the spring of 1959, you'd hear about the new telephone switching system, which made it possible for an operator in the lower 48 to make a direct call to a Juneau home, although it would be many years before Juneau residents would be able to make a direct dial out. The Army Chief of Staff called on Americans that spring to be ready to fight the Reds over Berlin. And pressure was being applied to President Eisenhower to call for a general mobilization against possible attack. Now, these events were of more than passing interest because, in part, boys in the class of 1959 would be drafted after graduation. But the gripping news for Juneauites was still statehood. And if you can imagine 1,000 people crammed into the 20th Century Theater on January 3rd to welcome the new governor, Bill Egan. The class of 59 was very aware that it was part of the birth of a new state. They knew that they had a place in it. Alaska's 50 years older now, but it has the same need for young people who willing to stay or come back. And when they say to you, he's an Alaskan, they say about you, she's from Alaska, you can, like David Bruce, wear that badge with pride. I ask you to come back, make a difference. Alaska needs you, Juneau needs you. Class of 2009, good luck and God bless you.
Chaney.
Confer upon you the high school diplomas or certificates of completion to which you are entitled, with all rights, privileges, and honors pertaining thereto. Congratulations.
William Carter. Jude Austin Carey. Connor Alexander Chaney. Carolyn Rebecca Chenoweth. Jasmine Alice Cherian. Randy L. Chernikov. Kathleen Che Soban. Charlie Ann Childers. Kai Zane Clark. Marika Elise Conrad.
Hey everyone, I'm Al Gray, Senior Class President, and we've had some outstanding staff here who are retiring this year, and we just want to give them a special thanks.
Mr. Powers, come up here. He came to Alaska in 1980, where he taught in many of the southwestern villages. He then came to Juneau in the early 90s, where he began teaching at JDHS. He also made a huge contribution to our youth football program. He is now the head coach of the football team, which he has led to 2 state championships.
I'm proud of you for doing so. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming.
Our graduation from high school, please join me in moving our tassels from right
later.
Everybody.
Don't want to lose them while you're partying. So don't.
You push a picture. Go ahead.
They'll
Get in
mail
there.
it to you later.
Everybody.